welcome. Let's send out the bat signal. Get people on. So we can get started. Got a lot of stuff to go over. So many tabs. So many. Relax, it's okay. Gamma. Gonna do CPAC today, mostly CPAC today, and we'll do got some other stuff lined up for the rest of the week. We'll be good. We'll have a good time. We'll talk a little bit about the panel from yesterday, but we're going through this. Got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Alrighty, let's see how we're doing here. Let's get the Discord up. Gotta be able to spell Discord, right? Discord is up. Got that going on, and then let's see what's the time there. Share here. Got it on live. Let's see. So yeah, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to follow. Feel free to subscribe. If you do like the channel, feel free to subscribe. Help support me. If you don't want to put any money into it, then you can use you can attach your Twitch channel to your Amazon Prime account, and that gives you a free 1-month subscription to any streamer of your choice. Hopefully it's me. If it's not, give it to somebody else. Maybe I'll be next month. But that's greatly appreciated. We should have channel points. We should have bits active. I'm still working for putting other things in to make for streamer purposes, different emojis, different emotes, different things like that. Like I say all the time, if there are things that other streamers do that you would like to see on this channel, hit me up here, go to the Discord, you tell me on the Discord. If you go to the Discord, we can have conversations about stuff. We talk about, I'm pretty much to talk about anything. The goal is to get a whole bunch of subscribers so we can go to the conspiracy episode. Although I was looking into it, and that might actually be take a little longer because I think there's like a literal time frame for how long you have to be an affiliate before you're allowed to do a subscriber only channel, which is something I'm going to look into. Also, things coming up this week. Wednesday, I have I'm going on the Independent Thought podcast. That'll be on at 8. I don't think I'll stream that. I might just send you guys to that if you all want. I'll see what I feel like. I'm also thinking Wednesday's stream is going to start at 2. I have some stuff I have to take care of, and I don't want to be unprepared for stuff. So stream maybe be at 2, might be at 3, depending on how my timing works and how long I have to set things up. As for everything else here, yeah, like, subscribe if you can. If you subscribe, you don't have to see the ads, or you can use a VPN or an ad block or whatever works for you. But if you subscribe through Prime, you're giving me Jeff Bezos' money, so I'm okay with that. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, we had a good stream yesterday. So I was part of the Hippy Dippy Super Sunday. I guess people dropped out, so I came in a little late at the beginning, and then I was having some technical issues with the volume. Solved that, and then so we were discussing the ocean being on fire in Mexico with the oil spill. That was an interesting discussion. So I hadn't looked into all the data around it. I'm generally for more green energy, and if we have to use some of it as nuclear, that is positive there. The other thing is if we have, you know, just we know fossil fuels are not good anymore. Like climate change is a thing. This isn't debatable anymore. Um, as for what happened after that conversation, it then went into um, lobbying, which was an interesting turn for it to take. I think we had a good chat with that. Look, the Hippy Dippy Super Sundays ones that I've been on, I think have been generally good panels. They haven't been overly contentious. I think it is partly because of who the right wingers. Because the way oil is produced is from the yeah, it's from the decomposition of animals that are were fossilized now. That's how long it takes for them to get the oil. It's a decomposition from that. Yeah, well, I mean that's just science. That's how it is. But yeah, you learn something every day here. Um, so we were talking about that, and then no, you learn something every day. You're gonna learn a lot today. Uh, you're gonna learn a lot about the crazies and the disingenuousness of what's going on. I have so many tabs about this stuff. Um, and then from there we had the filler question, and then we were talking about the January 6th commission, which kind of devolved into how does the Republican move on from Trump? And to be fair, I think part of um, the lobbying and then the how does the party move on were probably my fault. Um, it's just the things that I was bringing in. But I thought I did a pretty good job. I really like this that panel. I've liked most of the panels. I haven't been on panels that have been really contentious. I think that one I did like my first couple weeks streaming where I was just, like streaming for 9 hours. The stream started a little late, and that one was probably the most contentious. But that was mostly because um, we had one person who wasn't living in reality being part of that panel. We had and then Spartacus came on, and that's an interesting dude. I'd have an interesting love to be on a panel with him because I don't find him impressive. I don't think he knows what he's talking about most of the time. I've seen at least two where he hasn't even read the underlying bill. And to be fair, I don't know if that's because of um, getting invited on last minute or what it is, but it seems to be a recurring thing with him. But I think look, there's two ways to look at these panels. There's the blood sport aspect where you have guys like Rock Nor and people like that who just come on to get into arguments with people and just start fighting, and the whole point of them is to just get in the digs and things like that. Or you can have like streams like I think the one we had where we're actually discussing issues and trying to get better. So it really all depends on who comes down into them. I should probably hop into the next critical thinking chat more often because I want to get invited onto um, one of his streams for the solution based stuff because I find some of the guys he talked to, not Aircraft Sparky, the other guy, I don't remember what his name was. Um, that was interesting. So and I think those could be some good panels to be on. But yeah, so if there's once again, please like and subscribe. Please join to the Discord if you don't want to put the money into a subscription. Then you can tag it through your Amazon Prime account, and that is how you can get part of it. And then we'll slowly build up from there. The more things you guys want, you just tell me here on the chat, or you tell me on the Discord, and I'll start implementing them. It's gonna take me a little while because I gotta prep for everything, and then I'm obviously doing this by myself. I don't have an editor or anything, so it's all I'll figure this out piece by piece. So the more you guys tell us. So that's what we have for the panel for today. We're gonna look at CPAC. We don't have all of the speeches. We're gonna look at some of them these are mostly like Twitter clips and stuff, just specific stuff, the Master Cawthorn stuff, a little bit of, what's her face, Laura Boebert. So the Laura Boebert we're going to go into a little bit because she said some really crazy things that don't coincide with things she just said. And also, I wanted to talk about this ad. Whose ad is this? Hold on.
The easiest way to make...
Oh, this Don Winslow ad for Laura Boebert is bad. Look, if you know what I'm talking about, it's from the hashtag Laura Boebert is a monster, and they made this ad. We're gonna watch this ad. The problem with this ad is it's not correlating the things that she's saying to the message the ad is trying to do. And we're going to look at this later because we're going to look at literal tweets that don't correlate to the thing that they're responding to. So we don't have to worry about that there. We'll figure. So I'll show you that, and then we're going to talk very little bit about Cuba. So my plan is to talk more about Cuba tomorrow, and then there's a PragerU stuff that's interesting to talk about. But the reason I haven't talked about Cuba, I'm not going to talk about Cuba today, is because it just started last night and things are still developing. So I want to get more of the information, so a better picture of what exactly is happening as it happens, and then we're going to discuss it. But we are going to bring up Cuba today because already it's being used as a disingenuous attack on Bernie, and I want to just point out that attack. Yeah, that's the plan for today. So let's see. Once again, this week we have the Independent Thought podcast, which will be Wednesday. We have Wednesday will probably be at 2. So I can get rid of so I can do all of my other stuff before, and I'll have time to prep. That way, we're just like super safe. But as always, if you need to double check when I'm going live, if you're following me, you'll get the notification. But also, if you're on the Discord, I put the information on the Discord. If you're following me on Twitter at Faces Ideas, you can keep track of things I'm doing there. Generally, it's getting into arguments with conservatives about ridiculous things. Currently, one about whether or not everything Trump did was better, and that COVID was bad. So look, I did actually wanted to name this title something else. I was going to call it the True Suicide Cult Shows Up in Dallas, which it is. At this point, there's advocacy for it to be a suicide cult. The things that they're saying about COVID is literally they're just killing themselves. 99.2% of all of the COVID deaths in the last month were unvaccinated. If you go over a 6-month sample size, it's 99.5% who are unvaccinated. There's currently a spike of over 50% increase in cases in 11 states. There's currently a spike in just cases in general. So this idea that the pandemic is over is just not true. This idea that we can just go back to normal yet is not true. We do need to stop this, and there's 2 ways we can stop this. You either get vaccinated or you mask up and social distance. You can't have both. You can't both not get vaccinated and not do any of the mitigation efforts and then expect this to go away. That's not how this happens. It's as simple as that. So let's get started. So the first one we're going to look at is Ivory Hector. So this is the reporter that was on the Fox News affiliate, and then in the middle of her segment, she basically said, "Look, I'm being silenced, so I'm quitting." And then I think she said she was going to work at for Project Veritas, who is apparently somehow still speaking here. Although I don't understand. Here's something I didn't understand. Nick Fuentes got thrown out, but I thought this was American canceled, and Nick Fuentes was supposedly canceled by Twitter and the left because of his views. So why would they throw him out? I thought he had good views or he should be allowed to speak his, like, if you argue that Nick Fuentes shouldn't be removed because of the marketplace of ideas, why would you deny him to spread his ideas at your event? Like, I don't believe everyone deserves to have a has a voice on platforms like Twitter. I don't think every view should be given equal weight. I think that's a very dangerous idea to have. Um, but that's just something that doesn't make sense. So let's see what she has to say. Now, I haven't watched every single thing because there was a lot, and I was kind of busy this weekend. So let's see what she says.
It's good to be here. You guys, it was 4 years ago this month that I was boarding a flight to my job interview for my dream job working for Fox. And I'll never forget that interview when I sat down with the TV station president, and he asked me why I wanted to be a journalist. And I said, because free speech and free press fortify the freedom of the people. Censorship opens the door to take some of that freedom away. He chuckled at the time and told me that was a pageant answer. Everyone loves free press and hates censorship. So never did I think that just a few short years later, the culture would change so much. I mean, we've seen censorship like never before on social media, but it happened within Fox.
Okay, again, social media is clearing out their own platforms. They're able to do this because they are private companies. So unless you, again, this is the thing, like, are you saying that a private company can't regulate itself? Like, what is the argument? Like, oh, nobody should ever be punished for their views based on breaking the rules of a company?
Stories were censored. Murdoch employee HR people told me I can't speak publicly against censorship. Strange things are happening in American culture. I hope that me shedding light on this can help media members everywhere and the public return to savoring the importance of the free press, free speech, and what it has done to create this great nation. May we preserve it. Thank you.
Okay, I would actually like to see what exactly she's pushing. What do we know? Let me see if I can pull this up. Ivory. Let's see. Dozen journalists who dealt with what I'm doing. News outlets pushing them. Facts that don't. A telegrammer sent me this image. Oh, okay. This is. Okay. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what else she has. But if she's throwing all her stuff behind Project Veritas, that's not really a good look for your argument, because Project Veritas is not a source that is worth spending any time on. So here are these plaques, or maybe they're cards. Let's just take a look at these things. It's called the 7-Point Plan to Restore Donald J. Trump in Days, Not Years. Let me make sure I have the right. Okay. Reveal Achilles' heel. Pull back the curtain on the horror show that is today's Democratic Party. Watch Pelosi melt like the Wicked Witch of the West. See the Black Caucus and other key groups flip unexpectedly, and watch the tables turn. I don't know what this means. Like what exactly is this Achilles' heel that you haven't been talking about? Everything that the Democrats do is socialism. They're anti-American. They hate America. They're coming for your guns. They're coming for your freedoms. Like, this is all stuff you've been saying. But why would these groups flip? Like, even they understand this is not realistic. Witness a trusted conservative elected as Speaker of the House, and finally reveal suppressed results of existing investigations into election racketeering. Okay, so point 2 is insane. So witness a trusted conservatives elected as Speaker of the House. So therefore, Kevin McCarthy is not trusted enough to be conservative, and the answer, of course, the only one is Donald Trump. So technically, they can make Donald Trump Speaker if the Republicans control the House. And then, if these results were being suppressed, wouldn't the Republicans in office be able to prove that? Like, they could tell people where to go look for this stuff. But again, the reason this stuff is suppressed is because it doesn't exist. That's why. There's nothing there. It's not being suppressed. Correct the official record, reveal that Donald Trump legitimately won the 2020 election. This is just, again, not true. There's overwhelming data to prove that time and time again that Donald Trump did not win the 2020 election. There's been no election more certified than this one. And point after point and proof after proof have shown that this election was won by Joe Biden. The Speaker of the House drafts articles of impeachment for Biden-Harris. 5, citizen Donald Trump obviously, this is going along the lines with, if we can prove all these things, obviously, then Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are guilty of this. Citizen Donald J. Trump is placed in line for presidential selection behind the vice president by electing him Speaker of the House. Which is what, I was referring to in point 2. Point 6, Speaker of the House Donald J. Trump then calls for a vote to impeach, charge, and remove imposters Biden and Harris. Duly impeach, charge, and remove Biden and Harris. Hereby render all acts of said imposters while in office null and void and of no effect. Then duly elected Donald Trump resumes his rightful place as U.S. president. Now, this is all crazy land. This just cannot happen. Technically, this is actually the most coherent way for Donald Trump to get back into office. This is the only coherent way. There is no reinstatement mechanism that's going to happen in a month that they believe that this is going to happen. The only way for this to happen is for the Republicans to take back the House. So this idea of restore Donald Trump in days, not years, would have to take a minimum of 1 year. The earliest this could happen would be in 2022, and really 2023, because you have to wait for them to be sworn in, and that doesn't happen until the next year. And then once they're sworn in, they have to go through the impeachment process, which can take a while depending on how realistic they wanted to do it. So we're talking 2023 at the earliest, in which case he would then have to run for re-election in 2024. This is the most coherent plan that they've laid out. It's all bullshit. It cannot happen because Donald Trump lost the election. And the fact that this is, visit trumpcard.patriotsword.com. Let's take a look at what this website is. Hold on. trumpcard.patriotsword.com. trumpcard.patriotsword.com. Did I? Let's see if I got this right. Trump card, Patriots. Oh, it is this. Let's just see what this is. Oh, okay. So this is not even a. This is just a PDF. Rush taught us fun wins, despair losses. So let's play the Trump card and start laughing Nancy Pelosi out of speakership. She will open her mail and melt away in the American West Coast city, San Francisco, like the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. When she opens her mail, she'll find new evidence of skeletons long buried by the radical left that will have her on the floor. To get in on the fun and conversation, just email with subject Titty. Let's get Tindy. Let's get the party started. Then have your party hat ready to celebrate Nancy finally being speechless when she passes the gavel to new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, whose first job will commence the emergency congressional investigation into election racketeering, and then get ready to be tired of winning again. Let's continue. There's nothing funny about what these monsters have been doing when nobody's watching. But the fun begins as Nancy dodges, hides, and ducks from legitimate questions, and a major chunk of Democratic fraud constituency first becomes outraged, then directed at anger at Nancy. Nancy will finally be haunted by the ghosts of those who stood in the way of today's Democratic majority and will easily lose her speakership. The body bags from the past should also get her evicted from the House, just as she tried to do to Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene. What the I mean, she didn't try to get her removed. That's not her. That's not the position she had. They removed her from her committees because the Republicans wouldn't do it. And honestly, Marjorie Taylor Greene should be removed from the House. She literally can't do anything. Wow, this is like true. There's no way this is. What is this? Secret satanic sacrifices condensed. The entire the entire Democratic Party of today is widely exposed in our videos. Oh my God, this person is actually a lunatic. Okay, I'm saving this. We're going over. This is going. I love this. I don't know who this person. What, I don't know who. What is this? Holy shit! Imagine spending this much effort to be a crazy person. Wait, can we watch the video? Click above. Who made this? Holy sh! Oh my God, these people are lunatics. Oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. What the fuck is this? Alright, we're gonna save this for the conspiracy one when we do this, or maybe I'll pull up some of these in my own time to look at them. But this is just so fucking crazy. Holy shit! I mean, this might be the most sane thing that they have here. I mean, can you? Oh, brother, I am a patriot. America first. But like, we're gonna have to. Oh fuck. Joe, what? Look, I've only just glanced at it, but like, no, America is good. It's not perfect. Wait, aren't you Texan? Um, that's still America as much as they want to try to as much as they want to succeed. But look, holy fuck! If somebody wants to, oh, you know what? I'm gonna put this on the Discord. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna add this lunacy to the Discord because I want to. And then we're going to, if people want to take a look at it, they can join the Discord, which is very easy for people to do. All you have to do is type in Discord. And bammo. Okay, so what are you talking about? Based on what? Maybe? I don't know about brutality. Well, it depends on where's... Well, I mean, he did steal the election. You can't prove it because it didn't happen, and it depends on what you refer to as modern history. No, we're not. Look, we're not getting into this debate, especially like we'll get into this later because I'm sure Trump is going to bring it up. Um, and if he did steal the election, it's kind of weird that all these people can't prove it or that anyone has come out about this stuff. So let's move on to the next one. This is wild. Conqueso, if you're part of the Discord, you should definitely check out that link because I'm sure that'll give you some nice new talking points too that you might enjoy. Here's Madison Cawthorn. Um, um, yeah, but those
How do you feel
were
it's going to play
ballots.
in the mid?
People voted, and that's when they just got in because they slowed down the mail. All right, so let's see what Madison Cawthorn has to say because I do know that he says some truly wild shit. Yeah, it's the same thing as when Steven Crowder had that video and everything he said in it was wrong, but that's fine.
How do you feel it's going to play in the midterms?
Domination.
Yeah. What
Domination.
do you think the strategy is there? How do you think that's?
Biggest thing is we cannot sit back on our laurels and say, oh, well, historically we normally gain 32 seats whenever one party's president is elected, the other party gains 2 seats in the midterms. That's what normally we always believe. But we don't need to win 32 seats. We need a supermajority. I want 60 seats. And so people need to get very, very fired.
Okay, so he's referring to two separate things here because the 32 seat number is for the House, and that was what the Democrats won, I think, in 18, which was like historically good. I mean, generally the party out of power wins back the House. In the non-presidential election because they use it as a counterbalance. But the supermajority they would need would be the 60 votes in the Senate, and I don't think they have there's that many seats that are up for the Democrats that they could flip 10 seats. I don't believe so. Let's see. How many? Let's see who's on the elections. There are 14 seats held by Democrats and 25 Republicans. Okay, so they would have to win. They would have to win somehow. So it's 50-50. They would have to win all 20 of theirs, and they would have to win 10 of the 14 Democrat seats. Let's see. Open seat in 22. Last margin of victory. Mark Kelly is a toss-up. Richard Blumenthal is not a toss-up. Bennett's probably not a toss-up. Warnock, I think, is a toss-up. This one is not a toss-up. This one could be kind of close, but 15, I think she's done more. But this is not going to change. This one is an issue. They're not going to unseat Chuck Schumer. Ron Wyden's not going to happen. Patrick Leahy. I mean, I don't even just looking at this, I don't see, because then they would have to defend. Let's see who they have to defend. Marco Rubio is in trouble. This is just for the last election margin victory, but now he's running against Val Demings. Mike Crapo went by a lot. Holy shit. I hope Rand Paul loses. And a couple of these are retiring. So they have open seats.
And they need to get out and get involved. Even if you are in a district where you think, oh, this has been Democrat the entire time. 2020, if it taught us one thing, it taught us that authoritarianism is on the rise. So
there's two things here. One, he's right. If you are in a state that generally turns Republican, you should still canvass and push as a Democrat. And the same thing goes for Republicans, because the more you are out there and the more you get involved in politics, the more likely you can start shifting things. Texas has gotten steadily bluer as the past goes. Georgia was red for like 2 decades before it flipped. States change. And the part of the thing is you have to be more involved, and that's how you do it. Whether you're involved for a party that's advocating for the wrong things or not is a different story. But just generally being involved in politics is a good thing. And as for authoritarian on the rise, the Republican Party just attempted to overturn an election because they didn't like the results, and then their followers stormed the Capitol. So yeah.
That there are tyrants who are wanting to take away our rights, to not allow us to be able to congregate in churches, to not be able to own firearms. It's
crazy.
You've heard about this. Is the thing that drives me the craziest.
Okay. Takeaway: around congregate in churches. This was for COVID when there was lockdowns. Now the reason we are still dealing with COVID issues is because we didn't lock down hard enough, and now people won't take the vaccine. But we'll get to that later. They have other stuff on this. But that's not how authoritarianism is. And this idea that look, the Republican talk point is always the Democrats are coming to take your guns. And guess what? They haven't taken your guns yet, you stupid fucks.
Boggling me. We just had a president threaten the American people with F-15, said you would need F-15s and nukes to take me on.
Okay, we watched this clip. That's not what Joe Biden said. He didn't threaten them. He was making a point in the difference in firepower that Joe Schmo as the Oath Keeper has versus what the U.S. government has. And remember, these are the same people who say support our troops. They're also the same people who want us to kill them in order to overturn the government because they think it's totalitarian because of I can't go to Target without wearing a mask in the middle of a pandemic.
Outrageous. 15 days to slow the spread, right, Madison?
Exactly.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just more COVID shit.
And now they're starting to talk about going door to door to be able to take vaccines to the people. Think about the mechanisms they would have to build to be able.
The mask isn't going to stop you from breathing. You do. Okay, you do have a right not to wear a mask. And a corporation and a store has the right to refuse you service. In the same way, if you try to walk into a store with without a shirt or without shoes on, they have the right to refuse you. So it seems like you have a problem with private business there. And that makes you a socialist, and therefore you hate America. So he's going to talk about the door-to-door stuff. Hold on, I want to roll this back. Well, then you should be wearing a mask more because you're more likely to be susceptible to COVID.
And now they're starting to talk about going door to door to be able to take vaccines to the people. Think about the mechanisms they would have to build to be able to actually execute that massive of a thing. And then think about what those mechanisms could be used for. They could then go door to door, take your guns. They again go door to door, take your Bibles.
Yeah.
And so it's serious. And bro, I've got to get backstage, but
Yeah,
man.
Okay, so let's break down what again with the shoulds what. Look, first off, let's be clear. Nobody is. I mean, the mask mandates were a thing, and they're generally gone. But they were there for your benefit. We didn't do enough. As for what is happening here, what Madison Cawthorn just said, look, this new wave of Republicans, you can't breathe at all with a mask? What mask are you using? Okay, I don't know what to tell you, man. Then you still have all right. Well, what about people who are nudists? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Take it up with the private companies that are trying to keep people safe by not having the mask. by wearing the mask. Then get vaccinated. Those are your options. You have two options. You either wear the mask or you get vaccinated. If you don't want to do either, then you're shit out of luck. Hey, New Social Star, how you doing, bro? We're just watching CPAC. Catch up on CPAC, and then we got some other topics to go over. All right, man. Cool for you. Anyway, first off, what he said here is incredibly stupid for two reasons. The idea of... All right, well, Ben, then be good to go. And I hope you don't get sick and die. Because the overwhelming data proves that not getting the vaccine is going to make you more likely to sick and die. So look, Master Cawthorn just said the mechanisms needed to knock on every door in America does not exist. So Master Cawthorn doesn't understand what the post office does and the mail people. Because we already have the mechanisms for the government to go knock onto your door. And the this idea that this is just such a stupid thing. So instead of having them go to door and check to see if you have the virus or not, or if you're vaccinated, like, because they're going to ask. We don't know anything about this policy yet, other than it's been hinted at as possibly a way to help spread the vaccine. Whether or not they're probably going to do it on site, or they're just going to give you the information of where your closest vaccine site is, whether it's a CVS or a medical location or a stadium, wherever it is. We don't know anything about this. This idea that then this is going to be turned into taking away your Bibles and your guns is just fear-mongering. What the fuck is he talking about here? This is just nonsense. This idea that we're going to take your guns. Yeah, 99%, and then, okay, so there's no side effects at all, and nothing bad happens to you to survive. And a virus that has killed 99.2% of the people who've died from it in the last month. Have been unvaccinated. But look, like, this is just... Bad things also happen to them with the virus. Anyway, look, this is just fear-mongering nonsense. I think it's very telling that if you compare this new... I'm not even getting into that. I can let New Social Sarah talk about this. So, look, if you compare the people who came into office in the last decade, since 2016, if you compare the Democrats versus the Republicans. So on the Democratic side, you have people like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Cori Bush, Mondaire Jones. On the Republican side, you have Paul Gosar, Madison Cawthorn, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Laura Boebert. Somehow both of these extremes are considered equally extreme, when half of the people on the right don't even understand how the government works, or they're just straight up liars. Like, this man has lied about like everything. He lied about what happened with his friend about his accident. He's lied about his military history. Or about him going into... Because he's literally the youngest congressperson. Marjorie Taylor Greene literally can't do anything in Congress. She's, like, incapable of it. Well, then leave. What? I don't even know what that means. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. So here's Boebert. Look. So here's the thing. This is a clip that we're going to, and then she also used the phrase Fauci-ouchie to discuss the vaccine needles. Now, this particular clip is just dripping in irony because it's also very telling that it's a thing that conservatives are trying to do, is to remove a lot of this stuff. But we'll watch it in a second. But there's more to this. So we're going to watch this clip. All right. Because when you're dealing with a pandemic, individuals can in fact impact the rest of other people's lives. So here's what she's saying, and she's very proud of this.
We're here to tell government, we don't want your benefits, we don't want your welfare, don't come knocking on my door with your Fauci ouchie, you leave us the hell alone.
So here's the thing with this. If you believe these things that that we don't want welfare, that we don't want healthcare benefits, if you believe this is this line, anybody who received I mean this has been repeated to death. If you don't want government health welfare, then if you received a stimulus check, you should rip it up. Because that's what it is. And this is especially true for her case because of information she is going to say specifically about herself. As for this idea of welfare, the people who use welfare the most are poor white Republicans. And yes, it's currently survival of the fittest, except not in the way you think it is. It's survival of the fittest for people who aren't brain dead. So let's see what Laura Boebert has said about government welfare. These are her own words. I'm living the American dream. I came up from welfare, standing in line waiting for government cheese, to now running for Congress. Let's keep radical socialists out of government so that people can be empowered to lift themselves out of poverty rather than wait on the government. Now, these two statements don't work with each other. They're counterintuitive. You just said, I got government assistance and it helped me. And now I'm going to say you can't, and now I'm going to say that you should lift yourself up by your bootstraps. Right. I mean, there is issues. Like, I want an expanded social safety net, new social safety. You're a little further to the left than I am, and we've had conversations. You've talked about these conversations, but like, look, just what she said here is counterintuitive to what she just said. Now, here's my issue. Laura Boebert has said a lot of dumb things. We saw her say the Fauci ouchie line, which obviously is going to draw attention. But look, you should get vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, then you should wear a mask. Otherwise, we can't get rid of this. And you can have your beliefs. Okay, so you can have them. We are allowed to debate them because you're still here. I'm not banning you for your beliefs, so I don't know what that even means in this chat. Now, anyway, this is all full of shit. The problem is when people then get the vaccine. Those are your choices. Okay. Here is my problem. My problem is there's a lot of things that you can attack Lauren Boebert on. For example, Laura Boebert is one of the only two congresspeople who voted against the bone marrow transplant law. And her reasoning is there's no wording in this law to stop them from using this money on abortions or on, what did she say? Stem cell research. No, you don't. There are not two, there's only, let's be very clear, there are only two choices of dealing with this. There's only three ways of dealing with this pandemic. You wear a mask, you get vaccinated, or you do nothing and hope you don't die. And don't get it. That's the only options. What is the other option? What is the other option? Look, Conqueso, are you telling me you're healthier than Jason Tatum? Do you know what Jason Tatum is? No. Do you know who Jason Tatum is? Okay, so since you don't know who he is, let me show you. Jason Tatum is a basketball player. Jason Tatum, are you telling me you are in better shape than a 23-year-old NBA player? Because he got COVID, and he has said the only time he needs a vaccine, an inhaler, is after getting COVID. Wait, are you saying being vegan protects you from COVID? Anyway, let's go on to this video. Now, this is some Lincoln error. Don't tell me to do my research. If you're telling me to do my research, this means you. What exactly? Watch Game Changers? What the fuck is Game Changers? Bullshit. He is a world-class athlete. Anyway, look, Laura Boebert is a monster, mostly because, and this is actually a two-part thing. This is a two-part thing. There's two ways to attack Laura Boebert that are just that are just too stupid and should not be worth our time. One is that she's really dumb because she only got a GED. Now, this is inherently elitist. You can be smart and not be good at school. Laura Boebert is not dumb because she only has a GED. She's just dumb. Marjorie Taylor Greene went to college. She is dumb. Donald Trump went to college. He is dumb. Ted Cruz went to Harvard. He says dumb shit all the time. I went to college. Just because somebody doesn't go to college doesn't mean that they aren't intelligent. She's unintelligent for a number of other reasons. The other reason, the other problem that shouldn't be attacking her is like this. This is a disingenuous attack ad, but it makes libs feel good. In the same way that the Lincoln Project made libs feel good. These big, bad, naughty ads, these bad old Republican ads, these are bad ads. This is a terrible ad. I don't normally pull these up to show people, but this is just an objectively bad ad. We saw her statement. She was referring to government funding when she said, and she was talking about the vaccine when she was referring to the Fauci ouchie. The response to this is, Laura Boebert apparently thinks 600K plus dead Americans is funny, wondering if she'd like to speak to all the families who have lost a loved one due to COVID. That's their claim. The thing they're going to use to this is not right. This is not the right way to deal with these issues. Telling her that she's stupid because she didn't get a GED is not worth it, is elitist. It is. Look, there are smart people who didn't go to college. I'm going to keep repeating because, like, I can't stand this ad. Looking, the dissonance between what is being presented of her saying the dissonance between what she's saying and what the ad is claiming she's saying is downright lunacy.
The easiest way to make the Delta variant go away is to turn off CNN and vote Republican.
I mean, this is just, first off, look, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize this is just fucking dumb. Because there are other variants, and the Delta variant is currently number one, and is rising in Republican states. There are some Democratic states as well, but it's like California, I think, is the one state that's rising. But it's mostly in Republican states that is rising as this badly. And it's in Republican states that have low vaccination rates.
Way to make the Delta variant go away is to turn off CNN and vote Republican.
Don't come knocking on my door with your Fauci ouchie.
Stretchers, row after row.
Don't come knocking on my door with your Fauci ouchie.
My mom's gone, and then I'm grieving for my mom, and I just think, oh, I'm gonna go tell Dennis, and then Dennis is gone.
Fauci ouchie.
These families have to live after this, and the heartache that goes so far and so wide.
Fauci ouchie.
A once unimaginable milestone in the COVID pandemic, 600,000 deaths.
Hey, Lauren Boebert, why don't you tell the families and tell the children of the 600,000 dead that it's just a Fauci ouchie?
Six hundred thousand deaths. 600,000 deaths.
This is not a good ad. Look, because that's not, look, you can point out to, the better way to say this is to point, it would have been to compare her saying the words Fauci ouchie to vaccination rates. Not to the 600,000 dead. Because the first 450,000 plus, we didn't have a vaccine in which the Fauci ouchie was a comparable thing to say. And this idea that the vaccine doesn't work is just ludicrous. We were losing 4,000 Americans a day as Biden came into term. That's why the first month of his presidency, we lost 100,000 Americans. And then since then, we've lost 100,000 Americans. And if you can't correlate what happened in between, then you're an idiot. But this is not a good ad. This is the wrong way to go after this. I know it's like, oh yay, Laura Boebert's a monster and I get to say some mean tweets about her. But she's just going to use this to fundraise, and this is not the right way to attack her. And look, I appreciate the thought process behind this. But this is bad. We should be better than this. If you're going to make a substantive argument about this, or you're going to use it in an ad, make it so the ad is actually a good ad in which will elicit the right comparisons. This is a disingenuous attack against Laura Boebert. There's other ways you can attack her that are better. I don't understand why you decided to say the 600,000 to the Fauci ouchie comment. It would have made more sense to do it to the actual vaccines, because that's what she was composing. What is this? Okay, this is more people arguing over dumb shit to me. All right, here is more Republicans. Oh, here's the other thing. This is a better argument against Republicans being the cult of death. We currently in July, if you remember, Republicans got very, very mad when Joe Biden came out and said, look, the goal is to hit 70% of Americans with at least one, adult Americans with at least one vaccination. So for July 4th, and we didn't hit that. We hit like 60, 67, 68%. And the Republicans are now cheering on this. But we have the data that proves that if you get the vaccine, you're less likely to die of COVID. That's why the COVID rates and the deaths went down. And partly the reason the deaths might be going down on top of this with this particular variant is because now we have a better idea how to deal with COVID. But if you get vaccinated, it eliminates that almost entirely. But let's see what this cult is thinking about here.
Clearly, they were hoping, the government was hoping, that they could sort of sucker 90% of the population into getting vaccinated, and it isn't happening, right? There's younger people are well aware of what the risks really are, and they're well aware of the side effect profile.
Okay. There's WNBA athletes who are probably in better shape than you. Anyway, that's not the point. The point of this is get vaccinated. This cheering for the government failing to be vaccinated is just awful. Like you're cheering for people to die. These are the type of people who would have been again, your immune system will, even if you eat healthy, you can get COVID and die. Even if your immune system is healthy, because you don't have a defense against this type of virus. That's what the vaccine is. And in this case, why would we have any type of vaccinations? Like these are the type of people. These are the type of people who would be against like the smallpox vaccines or the polio vaccines. Like, what the fuck is happening? Why did this? This is just mind blowing. We've had like so much of this shit has just existed for so long, and it's been on the fringes that the people, that the people have just been against. This is just like, this is a death cult, because the best outcome to the fact that these people are going to ignore the vaccine are they're going to get themselves killed. And then there's going to be less. Yeah, you have that right. Fantastic. I'm happy the hill you're literally going to die on is I have the right to ignore medical professionals so that I can kill myself. So are you saying 600,000 people in this country and 4 million people across the world all just had bad immune systems, and that's why they died? Oh, here's Mo Brooks. Let's see what Mo Brooks. So Mo Brooks recently got
because dictatorial socialists want to cancel America. We have to fight back.
Look, I'm so tired of hearing this shit. Democrats hate America. Democrats want to cancel America. These words mean nothing. Criticizing a country doesn't mean you hate it. What is the comparison to? Everyone is racist, but only one side tries to. Jesus Christ! I'm going to have to do the party switch discussion, because there's too many of you in this chat who don't understand the history of the country and don't understand things like the Southern strategy, which led to the party switch. If the Democratic Party is still the party of the KKK, why is it that David Duke ran on a Republican? Why is it that David Duke endorsed Donald Trump? Why is it that the Republican Party were the ones against removing the statues of Confederate generals? First off, there's so many things that could be referred to. They did switch. I don't know if you understand how the map used to be, but there used to be these things called Dixiecrats. And they were Democrats in the South. The South used to be blue. And then it became red. Did you know that California used to be red and now it's blue? Like, we can talk about this another time. I don't think that is true.
To protect our country's greatness, they are attacking the foundational principles that have combined to give us the greatest nation in world history, to give us who we are. They attack.
Show it to me. Prove that. I'm talking about this. If you have this, or look, put it in the Discord and we can talk about it. Don't tell me to do my research. If you're going to make a claim like that, back it up. Because this is, I think, why why Darth told us. Because the only thing I told him to do is back up your claims. This is not going to be David chases down your crazy conspiracy theories. If you're going to say something to me that crazy, fucking prove it. Prove to me the party switch is a hoax. Prove to me that I'm streaming here. You're the one with the claim. That's not how claims work. I don't have to prove I don't have to prove your facts wrong. You have to prove them right. That's how claims
Our
work.
republic by engaging in unparalleled voter fraud and election theft.
Mo Brooks is currently being sued by Eric Swalwell. Again, a statement without any... So find the facts and prove it. It shouldn't be hard. This is just not true, what he's saying here.
Activities. They attack our First Amendment freedom of speech with...
Hey, bro, do your own research. I don't have to prove you wrong. That's not how claims work. If I make a claim, it's not on... That's not how it works. I don't have to prove you wrong. You have to prove your claim right.
Censorship from big tech, with the cancel culture, with speech suppression by government activities. They attack freedom of religion. Their view of religion is you can worship...
You're right. You don't have to do anything. But when you continue... So here's the statement. When you... Let's be clear about something. If you're going to say, I have a statement, and I'm not going to provide you with any facts, then say, I'm not going to provide you and I don't have to prove anything to you, I'm going to assume you're lying. That's the way it is. If you don't back up your statement and facts, I'm going to assume you're lying.
In church, but once you open those doors and exit, you can no longer have your religious values.
Let's go back to this because
that is not freedom.
I missed this getting
because dictatorial socialists want to cancel America.
I don't prove much what? By pointing out to the fact that these things are just wrong? I've been over data with you over and over again. I cite facts literally all the time. A lot of what happens here is understanding concepts or asking a follow-up question. Which one? Was it my opinion when I stated the numbers of deaths both in the last month and the last 6 months of vaccinated people? Was it my opinion when I stated how many actual election lawsuits that the Trump administration lost? Was it my opinion when I know how to count how many votes there were and how many overall cases of voter fraud? Yeah, these are all facts. What is this? Hold on, I don't know what this is. I'm taking a look at it.
That look.
I'm making sure it, because I don't know what it is.
Civil rights movement.
Oh, Knowing Better is pretty good. The party. We're gonna do this tomorrow. Okay, we're not gonna do it today. Okay. That's just, we're gonna put this up tomorrow. I don't want to do the party switch today. I have other things that I'm covering. So you can show up tomorrow. We'll do the party switch. Yeah, no. I know. I'm going to do it. I'm just saying I have other things that I want to do now, and I don't want to. I don't want to get too sidetracked. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. This is similar to something I used to say to DFK, who I miss. I miss DFK. He was fun. So show up tomorrow, and we'll go over the party switch stuff. No. I can't listen to the insurrectionist talk. We haven't even gotten to the Trump speech.
We have to fight back to protect
All right,
our
I don't need
country's
to.
greatness.
We don't need to watch him. Let's see what's next. Who do I have up next? Lock up Fauci. I want to see it. This is Trump saying he won. Let's see what this one is. I want to listen to some of this, and there's other things that I want to get to.
In a matter of mere months, Joe Biden has brought our country to the brink of ruin.
Based on what? Oh, we're back to caravans? Really? How did caravans work the last 2 times?
We shut down the migrant caravans. You haven't seen those caravans. You get ready because they're coming up right now. You've been watching
I bet you the caravans are going to show up right around the election.
them come through. And in those caravans, you have some deadly people. American history, and perhaps the Biden administration has turned the border into the single greatest disaster in American history, and perhaps in world history. Nobody's ever seen a border like this. Other countries don't have a border like this.
I mean, that's just objectively crazy shit. Let's see what this MAGA is.
The New York Post, then without any basis whatsoever, Twitter and Facebook banned the New York Post's account of this terrible story. After the election, one poll showed that at least 10% of Joe Biden's voters would have switched their vote if they had known about Joe and Hunter Biden scandals.
Okay, so currently there are still Hunter Biden scandals going on. It's the fact that he's selling art. So I did the math. The amount of time he would have had to work at Burisma in order to make the money that Ivanka and Jared made in the White House in 1 year was 147 years. I want to make a point. The scandals that are around Hunter Biden are not scandals. They're just saying they're at best hypocrisies that are being pointed out. But this is all bullshit. Oh, I want to see what he's saying here.
Election hoax. Every time the media references the election hoax, they say the fraud is unproven. And while there is no evidence,
I mean, there isn't. Again, over and over again, we've gone over this. This has been recounted by hand multiple times in the States. It's been recounted like any time you can see. I don't even know what the fuck is happening with the Arizona audit. Let me see. Arizona audit. Let's see if there's any information. Because I thought this was supposed to end like 2 weeks ago. Oh, wow. What the fuck is this? In the month since what did the judge turn down? I don't know if you have a news story or something, tell me. Wait, there's been like an ending to it? Is that what you're telling me? Because if there is, I want to see that. In the months since Arizona State has launched her audit, it became clear there are different rules for different auditors. The rules of Maricopa County election audits must follow far less demanding rules for the cyber ninjas conducted. Okay, so they're following different rules. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I know Arizona was won by Joe Biden. Anyone who's paid like any amount of attention to it. If you're waiting to read the Cyber Ninjas report about Maricopa County's elections, oh, it's supposed to end in August. Alright, so there's nothing going on here. Let's see what else he's got to say. Because there is some more stuff that I'm going to do.
So much evidence. You saw what happened in Georgia the other day? They found 35,000 votes. Then they deleted in Georgia over 100,000 votes. I said, because they were so bad voters. I said, why didn't you try doing it before the election? Lost by this much. Why didn't you do it before the election? There's bad.
That's not even a coherent sentence of statements that are anywhere close to true. Wait, he's still lying about Kavanaugh?
I'm very disappointed that Bill Barr was unable to hold anyone accountable for the countless abuses of power by the Democrats. He didn't hold the corrupt officials who spied on our campaign. Remember, I said, they're spying on our campaign. And boy, that was like a lightning rod went off.
I mean, it wasn't true in the way that he said it. They were spying on us in his campaign because his campaign was making overtures to Russia over and over again, and they were just lying. Like it's not in the way he's saying it.
Not the authors of the phony dossier, they weren't held responsible. Not the women who slandered and lied and defamed Brett Kavanaugh. They said, Brett Kavanaugh, he had an affair.
No, they didn't. They said he sexually assaulted them. That's not what he said. Oh, let's see what he's right about.
Different. I got impeached twice. I understand that. I didn't become different. I got impeached twice. I didn't change. I became worse.
Holy shit, can we tweet this at somebody? I'm saving this. I'm going to try to tweet this at Susan Collins. Because,
is the most angry person in the United States, crooked Hillary Clinton, who, by the way...
Holy fuck, are you serious? We're 2020. They're still talking about these... Bro, we're going to be in 2030... In the 20 after the 2028 election, and these motherfuckers are still going to be talking about Hillary Clinton. I don't care about Louis Gohmert. No, I'm entertaining myself. Look, he's entertaining, but you gotta see what lies they're saying. Let's see what else. Oh, Donald Trump does hate windmills.
And we don't need windmills in Texas and lots of other places. We don't need windmills. They ought to end that program as quickly as they can.
You and I know he lied, but sadly, I have a lot of conservatives in this this chat who don't believe that. They I thought windmills are only like 8% of your power. Isn't that's part of why the claim that the windmills froze over? Yeah, it's 8% of your power or something like that. But he hates it because he causes the listen. The two funniest things I've ever heard a person say in the positions of power were the 20 minutes I spent laughing at Louis Gohmert. Oh, it's 17%? All right. Well, obviously you don't need 17% of your energy. You're doing fine as it is. we could just frack it up. Nope. That's because that's communism. The two funniest things that Republicans have ever said that I've laughed at was the 20 minutes I spent laughing at Louis Gohmert when he asked the Forrest administration to move the moon to deal with climate change. And when Donald Trump said windmills cause cancer, I was listening to it on YouTube, and I almost crashed my car laughing so hard. Oh, it sounds like Texas is falling to the Green New Deal. Oh, here's the straw poll. So remember the last straw poll at the other event, the last conservative straw poll had DeSantis winning. So they did another poll as well without Trump in it, and DeSantis was winning that one. He had like 68%. I can't even believe Rand Paul got 1%. Who the fuck is voting for Rand Paul? Fuck Rand Paul. All right, so we got 2 segments left. And these 2 segments are going to be they're going to be connected, but over a through line. So the segments are going to be about what do you do about disingenuous people? We're going to look at Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk and then Ben Shabibo. This is a very common claim. It's not specifically in this one, but it'll be in the other ones. They're going to claim something that isn't accurate to what they're producing. And the reason I like this is just because I was on Crowdsourced Politics and I like him a lot. So this is, let me read it for everyone who can see it. Everyone, stop what you're doing and read this thread regarding forced COVID vaccinations amongst our troops as a potential effort to purge conservatives from its ranks. Incredibly important. Now, let's be clear about something. If you are part of the Army, you are required to get vaccinations. Just period. You cannot refuse them. They are there so that the Army can function better. This idea that they're going to purge conservatives from this means that conservatives are already willing not to follow the rules that they required for the Army. So this is just fear-mongering. In Crowdsourced Politics, as a vet, I can tell you that forced vax isn't an effort to purge the rights of conservatives. It's an effort to prevent people from dying, the military having to foot the hospital bill. And of course, a lot of the responses to him are like, dumb as fuck. I think they're we're talking about trans people. Oh, this person is an absolute, is this the, I think this person is an absolute lunatic. Yes, this person is super tiny and he's an absolute lunatic. Straight up, doesn't believe COVID is the thing. It's just, look, this is a fear tactic. This is also a lack of understanding how the military works. Let's see what Charlie Kirk said. This one is fucking mind-blowing. I had to show this to somebody else to see whether or not I was having a stroke reading it, and I didn't and maybe my words got mixed up and I couldn't read this right. So we're going to look at what this says, and then we're going to look at Charlie Kirk's response. Family members and peers are often best positioned to witness signs of mobilization to violence. Help prevent homegrown violent extremism. Visit this. It's like a 30-page document to learn how to spot suspicious behavior and report them to the FBI. Now, what is some of the things that we talk about after there's a mass shooting or a terrorist attack? What did the family know? What did law enforcement know? If the family knew, why didn't they tell law enforcement? These are things that we talk about all the time. Right? Everyone agrees, like, if you see something with your family, you should report it if you believe that they're going to cause harm to other people. Otherwise, you're allowing it to happen. This is very unspecific. It's just saying, if you see something, like, we can even take a look at this and see if the words conservative pop up. F3. Holy shit, would you look at that? The word conservative doesn't even show up in the whole thing. Unbelievable. Last week, the FBI was more concerned with a Lego set than who planted pipe bombs at the RNC. This week, they want you to help them turn in your conservative family members who commit thought crimes against the U.S. government. Look, I think it's kind of, based on information that I've heard, I don't know whether Charlie Kirk runs his own Twitter accounts, is what because he claims he's not on social media, but somebody runs them, and whoever it is, that person is very stupid, and that person talks like Charlie. Last week, the FBI was more concerned with the Lego set than who planted pipe bombs at the RNC. This is, of course, a really dumb argument, because the FBI is looking at separate things, you dumb fuck. They're not just doing one singular investigation. That was one segment of this massive-ass investigation. And also, Charlie, you seem to miss something there, because pipe bombs were also planted at the DNC. And this is assuming he's talking about the January 6th insurrection, where they did plant pipe bombs for both of them. And then, if he's just referring to just the most recent pipe bombing thing, that would be Cesar Sayoc, who is my favorite terrorist to point out, because he sent pipe bombs to all of Trump's enemies, and when they found him, he was in a Trump-covered plastered van. Like, Trump fucking everything. Just bonkers. Look, the cognitive dissonance you need to put both of these statements combined with this, first of all, means you can't read. And I'm not being ableist here. You literally can't cognitively read the words that are written here and come to this conclusion. It's not possible unless you're a disingenuous piece of shit. You cannot read this statement and this and think conservative family members who commit thought crimes. If you believe this, if anything, this is a self-report. If you believe that the FBI is telling you, hey, look, if you think someone is going to do violence, you should report it, and your thought is they're going after conservatives, that means you think conservatives are the ones who commit the violence. And you know what? You're fucking right. You look at the data. The overwhelming majority, or in 2019, the entirety of the majority of violent terrorist attacks in the U.S. were from right-wing extremists. So yeah, they are more likely to cause the violence. But no, this is not an accurate statement in any way, shape, or form at all. Now, here's the only thing we're gonna talk about Cuba very briefly, and this will be the last segment. Cuba is currently in the middle of a protest. I think what is the Wall Street Journal? They just started cracking down on them. They arrested 80 protesters. The Republicans are making this very strange claim about Bernie. So he's taking this. This is from a month ago, I think. This might be over a year. Okay, this was a month ago. Here on Earth, in the richest country on the planet, half our people live paycheck to paycheck. People are struggling to feed themselves, struggling to see a doctor. But hey, the richest guys in the world are off to outer space. I mean, there's nothing objectively false in this statement. This is actively true. For all those people who are like, yeah, communism and socialism killed 100 million people from starvation. How many people in the U.S. have starvation? How many children rely on their schools to feed them? What percentage of children starve in this country? These are all actual facts. So here is Big Brain Ben Shapiro saying, I can't help but notice that you have yet to comment on the Cuban dissident movement. Perhaps you might spare a moment when you're not demagoguing capitalism from your lake house. Again, this thing happened last fucking night. That's when this this protest started, was last night. So then he took a tweet from a month ago to say, oh, you haven't commented on this yet. The other thing that they keep saying is I can't say how Bernie Sanders hasn't said anything against Cuba. We're going to look at Stuart Barney very quickly. Here's what Stuart Barney has to say about this.
Where's Bernie Sanders? Where is AOC and the squad? Their fellow socialists in Cuba are in revolt, not against the evils of capitalism, oh no, but the failure of socialism.
Look, Cuba is not socialist. It's a communist dictatorship. And the reason you conflate these things is because you understand words have no meaning, and you just use your scary buzzwords to make people afraid. That's why.
And what have we got here? Silence from America's left. Over the weekend, demonstrations broke out in more than 30 towns and cities all across Cuba. Street violence in Havana.
Wait a minute, I thought that's bad. Because when it happens here, they're terrorists. But when it happens in Hong Kong or it happens in Cuba, they're freedom fighters. Maybe being a little disingenuous. Because here's the other thing. All the people who bitch about the Black Lives Matter thing are the same people who argue that everything that the Hong Kong protesters are doing is good. When that is infinitely more destructive and it is a vastly more violent protest. They're building blockades and shooting arrows at people. This is not anywhere near the same. This is already disingenuous.
Protesters waved American flags. Whoa, that's serious stuff in a communist society. And the authorities predictably called out their thugs. Party chief Miguel Diaz-Canel says the order to fight has been given. Into the streets, revolutionaries. My goodness me, sounds like 40 years ago, doesn't it? This is not good news for the Biden administration. They're trying to blame COVID for the protests. That's really lame. The people on the streets are shouting for freedom. After 60-odd years of repression, they've had enough. The Cubans are giving us a window into the workings of socialism, just as Bernie is working overtime to introduce socialism here. Please think this through. Are we going to see a new wave of asylum seekers from Cuba or from Haiti, a failed state just a boat
Wait a
ride?
minute. First off, if your argument is communism bad, capitalism good, America good, Cuba bad, wouldn't having people want to leave there to come here, wouldn't that be a benefit to your society? That's literally what their argument is every time when they go to Florida. Communism bad. They ran away from communism. That's why they're here. So should you send all those people back? Like, what is your argument here?
Right away. The administration has done nothing to stop the flow of migrants across our southern border. Are we now about to see another migrant wave? Think this through too. Bernie and the far left want to make America more like Cuba.
This is the other thing. The thing that they're pushing for, the type of expansive social networks that they push for, that I push for, are not Cuban. It's for Nordic socialism. It's for a expansive combination of capitalism and social, is where you have a capitalistic society, but you have a larger social safety net because capitalism inherently exploits people and leaves people behind that the social safety net would pick up. So that's what it would be. So this is just more fear-mongering. Now, this is why they keep talking about Bernie, the other reason, besides they're just combining Cuba. Because if they're not arguing Cuba, they're arguing Venezuela. Is bad because Venezuela gave people health care and then it collapsed. But no more thought process to that statement. This is the statement that they constantly do. Keep in mind, this is something Obama said too. But it's unfair to simply say everything is bad. When Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing, even though Castro did it? No. But then he condemned all the other things that was happening. So you have to be able to parse two separate thoughts at the same time. That's the issue. Now, we're going to wrap this up because I'll do the Tommy Lauren thing tomorrow. I do appreciate oh shit, this wasn't flipped back. My bad. I do appreciate everyone who was here today. Reminder, please feel free to follow. Please feel free to subscribe if you like what I do. If you don't want to put in the money yourself, you can attach it to your Prime account, your Twitch account to your Prime account, and then you can subscribe for free, and then Jeff Bezos pays me. So if you want to have Jeff Bezos pay me, I'm happy with that. Also, if you are interested in being part of the Discord, join the Discord. That way we can have conversations. That way you can send me information there. That way we can figure out what we want to talk about. That way you can tell me what else you want from this stream that you want me to implement. Do you want me to implement different emojis, things like that, different merch, whatever else people want me to do to make it so that they enjoy this stream more likely to subscribe. You know, what else can I do to help you people? But till then, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Wednesday we will be back at 2 p.m. And then the rest of the week we should be back at 1 unless something changes. But as always, I will keep you posted. Thank you for watching.